is Ryan, and today we're going to be making brownies. Okay, so first things first, we're going to turn our ovens to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're going to grease your 8x8 pan that you're going to be using for your brownies. Now, if you want, you can double the recipe and get thicker brownies, but it's just going to take longer for the brownies to cook. Just so y'all know. So first we're going to get these 2 half sticks of butter, or half a cup of butter. And we are going to put it in our microwave safe bowls. Now we're going to melt the butter. I would suggest maybe a minute in your microwave, or if you have, I don't know how high your microwave is, maybe do like 30 seconds each, because you don't want the butter to melt too fast and then like boil and be gross. Now, while that is waiting, I have measured out the other ingredients. I will put exactly how much is in each ramekin here in the description below, and I will also put the steps for the recipe as well. This is not all of it. I do have stuff like on the side, just so you know. And my whisk is, yes, incredibly small because it's the only whisk I have right now. I might get more whisk later. Okay. And once you have your melted butter, we are going to be putting in the sugar. And this is about a cup of sugar. It's actually a cup of sugar. I don't know why I say about. And now we're just going to stir it all together. Get to that nice, like, creamy kind of state. Okay, and let that sit for a second because it's also kind of warm. We don't want to cook the eggs when we add them. But next, you're going to add 1 egg at a time. It should be fine. Stirring in between. Add 1 more egg, and it's only 2 eggs, so you don't have to worry about like having a lot of eggs. This recipe is actually very simple. And if you wanted, instead of butter, you could obviously use like vegetable oil as a replacement if you do not have butter. And you'll use the same amount. Okay. And then we're going to add in your vanilla extract. I like to use Adam's vanilla extract. It's actually one of my favorites to use that I get at the store. And actually I was super happy because this was the last one before when I bought it. So I was super happy that I was able to find it. And we are just going to be using a teaspoon of the vanilla. I suggest doing it over one of the empty ramekins if you decided to do what I did and measure everything out beforehand. Don't do it over because you could have some spillage and you don't really want it to be too vanilla. That's aside for now, and you're just gonna whisk in your vanilla. Okay. that's going to be all that you're going to be whisking, so you can put this in your sink or your dishwasher if you want to clean up as you go. The next thing you'll be doing is adding in the cocoa powder and your flour. So you're going to do a third cup of cocoa powder. Of course, the cocoa powder never wants to get all the way out. So I'm just going to get my spatula to help get the rest of it out as much as I can. And I use unsweetened cocoa powder just because you're also adding sugar and you don't want it to be like superly overly sweet. And then you're going to add the flour. Next is the baking powder and your salt, and you're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of each. And again, you don't want to like measure this over your brownie mixture because, well, do you really want salty brownies? Then I always have it like this. And then I always get this one, the baking powder, the Clabber Girl, because I like that they have this, so you can just scoop and measure up perfectly each time. Just gonna close that. And this is super easy. I honestly don't know why a lot more people don't like just make brownie mix them, like make this themselves. Well, I understand why. Most people don't have time to, so they prefer to buy an easy mixture. And then we're just gonna mix it all together. Pretty simple. And the reason why I don't use a whisk for this part is mainly because I don't want it to be too airy when I do pour it into the batter, like into the pan, because then I have to like hit it all and I don't want to do that because it's very noisy. But if you want to do that, it's fine. I don't mind washing the spatula off. Okay. Doesn't it look just so good right now? So I already have this pan pre-greased, and it's an 8x8 pan. And now we're going to put it in. Now if you're like me, you like to leave a little bit on the edges of everything so you can continue snacking on the chocolate later, because who doesn't like brownie mix? Okay. Now we are going to put the pan in the oven, and I will see you when it's done. And there we have it. Some really good brownies that are easy to make. And I realize now that I forgot to tell you how long to bake them for. So you're supposed to bake them at 350 for at least 28 minutes, but sometimes it goes to 30. It all depends on really how much, like what size pan you use, because if you do use a different pan, it's going to cook at different times. And also it'll factor in because every oven is different. Some ovens run a little hotter than others and some run a little colder. You know your oven, obviously. If you bake a lot, you will know. I know my oven runs a little hotter, so I always go for the least amount of time, and sometimes I'll even check before just to make sure it doesn't get burnt if I'm doing a new recipe. Okay everyone, like and subscribe for more videos.